All right, welcome guys to day 4, the last day of boot camp. Thank you so much for joining me today. I've really enjoyed our last 4 days together. Well, I guess 3 days. Today's the 4th day. I just think it's been really fun to kind of see you guys on camera and meet you and put name or faces to the names. And yesterday was really special, just cooking together in the kitchen. I really enjoyed that. So thank you for being here. And today we're going to talk about how to write a meal plan. And if you, at the end of this training, if you'd like, you can comment in the chat the word DIY, and I will send you a free meal plan template that you can print out and use every week to plan your meals. And then we're also going to talk about tips for getting the whole family on board. And then after that, we'll go into the bonus training, which will be tips for staying consistent. And if you stay for that bonus training, you'll get that free Picky Eaters meal plan, which will have hidden veggies, spaghetti meatballs, pizza quesadillas, so like quesadillas with mozzarella cheese, and then you dip it in pizza sauce. Let's see, some crunchy Taco Bell style tacos. Um, I don't know why I can't remember the whole all of those 5, but you get the idea, like really kid-friendly stuff. So let's get started. Oops. Okay, so let's talk about how to write a meal plan. Before we get into the various steps, I did want to let you guys know, oh, I gotta press that. Okay, that meal planning time is not the time to source recipes. So as you're scrolling Instagram or TikTok or Pinterest throughout the week, that's your time to source recipes. Make sure that you save whatever recipe that you think sounds good and put it on its own board, like meal plan or whatever you want to call it. Because if you wait until it's time for you to write your meal plan to recipe source, it's just going to take a long time and you'll get frustrated and overwhelmed, and it may get in the way of you actually doing it. So just to keep that in mind. All right, so step 1, you want to do exactly what we did for, well, you can do this any variety of ways, but the DIY meal plan that I'm going to send you guys to fill out will have a space for breakfast, lunch, and then 2 dinners, and then a sweet treat. You can either do a sweet treat or you can do a snack there if you'd like. I know some folks aren't super keen on sweet, so they might go for a savory snack instead. What you want to do is focus on choosing quick cooking, easy to execute recipes that don't involve a lot of steps, don't have a ton of ingredients, and it's a bonus if you know how to make these recipes by heart. So maybe you want to start with some of your old tried and true favorites so that you can get this down to a science and get used to it and create the habit around meal planning and grocery shopping and meal prepping on the weekends. And then once you get used to your little system that you create for yourself, you can start to incorporate, new recipes that you've never tried before. So maybe you have 2 Pinterest boards. One is like recipes to make now, and then another one is like recipes to try later. So then after you write down on your meal plan what you plan to make for that week, you can go to those links in your saved, in your Instagram or your Pinterest profile and print out those recipes, and then like cross out any ingredients that you need to, because a lot of times, you might see a really great recipe on TikTok that's like full of gluten and dairy, and you're like, I want to make that flare free. So you can just go through and cross out any inflammatory ingredients and make those substitutions on your recipe, right? And then you also want to make sure that the recipe fits your family size. So if you're only a family of 2 and the recipe serves 6, you might want to cut that in half or what have you. If it's like a serving of 4 and you only want to cook one of these dishes so that you have it for 2 meals, you might double it so you have 8, right? So then from there, you're going to write down your grocery list. Then you're going to check off everything that you already have off of your grocery list. And then you're going to map out a plan for your prep day. So you're going to put like, maybe which recipes you want to cook first, or which equipment you might need to pull out. So that way, when you go into the kitchen, like we did with our meal prep day, you have kind of like a packet for yourself so that it's very calm and easy and organized and efficient. So that's it. That's all I have about that. And let's talk about tips for getting the whole family on board, because I think that This is something that is, like, obviously gonna vary from family to family based on who's the picky eater in your family and all of the things, right? And I kinda talked about it on my blog about, like, are your kids really picky, or have they just not been introduced to enough variety of foods, right? So what I did with my daughter and what I suggest folks do if you have a baby or if you're going to be having a baby is to just try to feed them as much variety as you can, as many different colors, textures, flavors of food as possible. You know, try the baby led weaning thing. Give them food that they can actually physically pick up and eat, and um, feed them what you eat, right? Because if a kid sees their mom and dad eating something different from them, and you're making them something separate from the get-go, they're going to start to be conditioned to believe that they can eat something different from mom and dad, right? Now, if you are the picky eater in your family and you don't eat vegetables or a wide variety of foods
9 to 10?
or different textured foods, sorry, I thought somebody was talking to me. Um, then don't feed them what you eat, okay? And I say that with love. Like, cook your kids a wide variety of food if you're starting from day one. That's like the best way to not create a picky eater. And even after you do all of that, it's still really hard work and you still have to do it and work on it and be consistent. You know, it doesn't just like doesn't happen automatically. Okay. So if you have toddlers, my number one way to get toddlers to eat new foods or try new foods is to get them involved in the cooking process. So kids are more likely to try different things if they've had a hand in making it. This is not me coming up with this. This is science. This is like data from dietitians that work with picky eaters and families and stuff like that. So try that. And I know that is really frustrating and it can really slow you down. Don't do it on your meal prep days, but if it's like, okay, I'm going to make whatever, something really simple and you want to get the kids involved, try that out and let them, taste as you're cooking, let them eat, afterwards, what have you. You may be surprised as to what they would try because they made it and it's like their creation. Another really great tip for toddlers and kids, this works for kids as well, is to serve the meals family style. You can put all of the different components in dishes and put them on the counter or on the table and let them physically scoop what they want onto their plate. I know this seems like, well, how is my toddler going to do that? You can get them up on the table and help them do it because this is gonna create that autonomy for them where they feel like they're choosing what they're eating versus mom and dad are making me eat this. And even if they choose something that you're like, "Oh, I know she's not gonna eat that much broccoli," don't stop them. Just let them make their plate. I promise you, it really helps. It really makes a difference when they feel like they're in charge of what they put on their plate. And then, what was I gonna say about that? I guess we'll talk about that after this. And then another thing I want to talk about is, I talk about a lot in the Flair Free Cooking Academy, all the emotions that there are around food. And I think if we're able to take out the emotion during mealtime and feeding time, we're not talking about good foods and good eaters and bad eaters, or oh, you're not eating good, or oh, you're a bad eater. Why don't you just eat better? Why don't you eat your vegetables? That can cause a lot of stuff for our kids, right? And that makes meal times contentious and not enjoyable. So if we take that all away and we don't talk about good food and good eaters and bad eaters, and we just talk about food and dinner, or we talk about something else, like let's talk about the new Avatar movie or whatever you want to talk about, it's going to make it a lot more easy for everybody. Oops, that's not the button I press. Okay. So try this mantra. It will become your best friend, and it may not work at first. It may not work the first 5 times you try it, but please try this mantra. When you give something to your child or you plate something and you let them fix whatever and they don't want to take a little bit of everything, we're going to say, oh, put a little bit of everything on your plate because we're going to try everything once and you can have as much or as little as you like. So you don't have to eat everything on your plate. You do not have to eat all your broccoli. You do not have to eat all your chicken. Just try everything once and eat as much or as little as you like. And that is like magic for kids, okay? You're gonna have to say it over and over and over again. My child is 9 and I still say that. If I serve her something that she's like, "I know I don't like that," I say, "Okay, you don't have to eat it, honey, but you have to try it. You can eat as much or as little as you like." I still say that to this day. My child is 9, okay? So don't feel like, "Oh, it's not working. I tried it once or I tried it 3 times or I tried it 10 times and it didn't work." Eventually, it will work, I promise. And then you'll have to keep saying it. Oh, hi, Blanca. Blanca's here. I'm gonna write your name down for the drawing. Okay. All right, now we're moving into kids and teens because every child or every person, every stage of a person has, more that they can deal with, right? Obviously, babies, we're not gonna be like, eat your broccoli or you're not leaving the table. Okay. And we're not doing that at all anyway, by the way. But for kids, teens, or adults, like say, for example, your husband is the picky eater in the house or something, that topic we might have to like have a separate talk with over wine just in person, but um start by making anti-inflammatory versions of their favorite foods. So like, what is it that they love? They love chicken tenders, make chicken tenders. They love burgers, make burgers, right? With those little flair-free tweaks. We're going to use grass-fed beef and we're going to use the no sugar added ketchup, or and don't go like gung ho 100% flare free all in one. You might make one little tweak at a time. Let's use, sorry, somebody just said they can't get in. What in the world? Let me see. Sorry, let me try to add her really quick. I don't know how to do that from here. She's gonna have to watch the replay. I'm sorry, guys. I'm not that I'm not that savvy with Zoom. Okay. You might not want to go like full flare-free burger all at once, right? Especially if they're teens or adults and they've been eating a certain way for a long time and they're picky on top of that. You want to slowly ease into this. So you might switch to a grass-fed beef. Do not tell them that it's grass-fed beef. Wait until they're done. And if they go, "Oh, that tastes disgusting. What's wrong with that?" Just say, "Oh, they didn't have the beef I usually buy at the grocery store." We're not going to talk about, "Oh, well, we're eating healthy, or we're going to try to do this, or we're going to try to do that, or you need to eat better." Make it not about them, make it not about you, make it about the grocery store, okay? Um, and then as you continue to do this, you'll be able to start to like hide vegetables in their food. So things like the hidden veggie pasta sauce that you're gonna get in the meal plan today. Meatballs, you can grate zucchini or finely chopped up carrots, finely chopped up onions. You can put like pureed soups are beautiful for hiding vegetables. You can put cauliflower rice or broccoli in mashed potatoes. Um, oh, Sue is here. Sue is here? I don't see her. Oh, I see. It wasn't showing me all the people. Hi, Sue. Oh, well, thank you, Sue. I'm going to write everybody's name down. Sorry, I didn't know everybody else is here. Hi, Deb. I'm going to write you guys down so I don't miss you. Gretchen already won today, so I'm not going to add you. Congrats, Gretchen. I don't know if you got my message, but you won today. Sue's here. Okay.
I didn't get the message. That's
Oh,
exciting.
You won. Yes, yes. I messaged you on Instagram.
Oh, yay. Thanks.
Okay,
Yay.
so okay, so meatloaf. Meatloaf is also another great thing that you can hide veggies in. Any type of like shredded or finely minced vegetable, and you can go the added step of like sauteing them and cooking them down a little bit, maybe squeeze the liquid out and then add it to like your meatballs and your meatloaf and stuff like that so that they really don't even taste it. But you're gonna see in that hidden veggie pasta sauce, I put a ton of vegetables and then I puree it, like especially if you have a Vitamix or any good blender, they're never gonna know, especially if you get the right ratio of veggies to tomato sauce. You don't wanna have more veggies than tomato sauce. You wanna make sure that it still tastes like tomato sauce. Um, so that would be my recommendation for the older folks, is literally just make the stuff that you know that they like, but in an anti-inflammatory way, right? Because now they're gonna start to notice little tiny changes in the way things taste, and they might start to get might start allowing their taste buds to change, because that's one of the hardest things about older kids is, even if it's like something that, I'm trying to think, I had an example the other day. I had a picky eater come over to my house, and there was, oh, it was the taco shells. I made flare-free, like, ground beef tacos with the crispy, grain-free Siete taco shells, and when he ate it as a taco with the ground beef and everything, he thought it was fine, but then he was like, "Okay, I don't like tacos." So then he didn't wanna eat it, but he just wanted to eat the chips. So he tried to eat the taco shell, and he didn't like the taste of it because it doesn't taste like corn. You know what I'm saying? So, like, trying to get your kid to change everything all at once, they're gonna be able to notice those little nuances, so do one little tiny sustainable change at a time. Does that make sense? Okay. All right, now I'm gonna get to the part where I stop mincing words, and I'm gonna be a little bit tough here. But I think that we need to hear these types of things. So you have to stop making separate meals for your kids. You have to. You have to stop. Like, it's tomorrow is the last day that you're gonna make a separate meal for your kid. Your kid, your teenager, your husband is not going to starve. They're not. You have to explain why you're doing what you're doing. So after you start, making these little tweaks, I'm gonna do the no sugar added marinara instead of the Prego, right? I'm gonna do the grain-free tortilla shells instead of the corn ones. You start doing these little tweaks, and then you start putting, cauliflower in their mashed potatoes, and you start, hiding veggies in their pasta sauce. Eventually, we're gonna get to the point where I'm gonna be serving you guys broccoli. And mommy's not gonna be cooking separate meals for you anymore. And you have to explain to them why. Mommy's sick. Mommy wants to feel better. Mommy's doctor said that she has to eat a certain way to do that, and mommy cannot be a short order cook. This is not Waffle House. They're not stupid. They understand. It's just that if y'all don't talk about it that way, this is a new concept to them and they're not used to it. So we're gonna have to start talking about it. And again, remove the emotion from meal times. They're not gonna love you during this phase. They're not gonna like the food. They're not gonna like everything that you serve, but you can't take that personal, right? This is about you getting well. This is about setting your family up to live a long, healthy, vibrant life. Because a lot of the foods that we grew up eating contribute to cancer and diabetes and all of these other things that we don't want our kids to have, right? So this goes beyond just like, I want my kids to eat vegetables. This is like, my niece was 4 years old when she was diagnosed with stage 4 neuroblastoma. So, like, I knew from an early age that I did not want that for my child. I'm not saying that my child is never gonna get cancer, because it can happen to anybody, but there are certain things that we can control. Like, Dr. Kirsty Washington said in our podcast interview, she's the Fed Up pharmacist, she said, "Control the controllables." There are certain things we can control, like not serving our kids Prego and, whatever else crap that we grew up on, Hamburger Helper. So take a deep breath. You're doing great. The fact that you're here today and even working on this and worried about this for your kids and worried about this for yourself is a huge thing. I have another mantra for you that will become your new best friend. I say this to my daughter all the time when she wants to tell me that she doesn't like something. This is what we have to eat. You can eat as much or as little as you'd like, but we're not eating again until whatever mealtime. Okay. So if my daughter looks at me and goes, I don't want to eat, because here's the thing. It's not that my daughter doesn't like what I serve her. I know what she likes, and she's been eating all of these foods, and I serve her food that she's already eaten a million times. So I know she likes it. But if she does not feel in the mood for it, right? You're not in the mood for something and somebody's serving it to you, you don't have a choice. She's just not in the mood for it. So it may come off as being picky for your kids. They just might not be in the mood for that right now. That's where getting them involved in the cooking process, getting them involved in the meal planning process. Hey, what do you guys want? Here's my Instagram saves. Go pick out 3 recipes that y'all want this week. And then if you make that recipe and they're crying about it, that's not your problem. Okay? You tried. So this is what we're having. You can choose to eat as much or as little as you'd like, but if you're going to be hungry after this because you don't want to have any of it, That's 100% fine, but we're not eating again until lunchtime. I don't punish my child for not eating, but I give her consequences. Like, this is what we have right now. You're gonna be hungry. And I'll tell her straight up, you're gonna be hungry in 30 minutes and I don't have any other food. And then you'll get to a point where it'll be like, they'll skip a meal or say, okay, they'll have a few bites of stuff and then they'll be like, okay, I'm done. And then they want a snack. It's not snack time right now. You have to put boundaries up for your children. You have to put boundaries up for your teenagers. You have to put boundaries up for your husband. Like, whatever it is that you need to do, because you can't do this kind of stuff forever, right? It's very difficult to change when you eat what you eat when you're so used to it. Yeah, it's very changing your, and I'm going to talk about this in like maybe one slide or two slides, changing what you eat and your traditions around food and your mindset around food. It is very hard work. It's very hard work. That's why 99% of the stuff that I do is mindset work, because I'm trying to help you guys embrace the fact that, like, it's hard now, but it's not going to be hard forever. I used to eat Hamburger Helper, and I grew up eating boxed food, canned food. I was there, I didn't grow up eating healthy. I didn't grow up eating vegetables that were freshly chopped. Never. I mean, my mom rarely ever had anything that wasn't canned in the fridge. Like, we didn't have fresh vegetables growing up. Okay, so I understand. I know I ate out of vending machines all throughout, like middle school to high school. My mom worked 2 jobs. She would pick us up at 10 p.m. from the local public park. We would stay there until 10 p.m. and we ate out of vending machines for dinner. So I understand. Okay, I totally get it. It is hard, hard work. Okay, so one of the things that I was going to piggyback off of that last concept is that um, as you start to do this and you realize, okay, well, she didn't touch her breakfast and now she didn't touch lunch, and I do want her to have some nutrients, right? They're not going to starve. And they'll be so dangle and stubborn that they'll pretend that they're not hungry, because you'll say, well, it's not mealtime again until dinner, and you've already skipped breakfast and you've already skipped lunch. So at some point, I might like waiver that, and I might say, instead of saying we're not going to have snack time, you forfeit your snack if you don't want to eat breakfast. I might say you can only have fresh snacks at snack time. Like, you're not going to be grabbing a bag of chips and a granola bar and any of those packaged things. Do you know what I'm saying? Because that's going to, number one, it's going to spike their blood sugar. Then they're going to be up and down. They're going to be moody and crazy, and it's going to be horrible. So if you realize that they've been really protesting what you've been giving them for maybe 2 meals in a row, instead of saying, okay, well, you're not going to eat again until the next meal time, you might preemptively say, okay, if you get hungry after this, the only thing that I have for you is fresh snacks. So carrots and hummus, or, you know, um, whatever snacks. I can't even think of anything, apples and peanut butter or whatever. So that way they're not like tricking you into getting this highly addictive food on an empty stomach. And then that just sends them down into a spiral where if they eat like a bunch of packaged snacks because they're starving because they skipped breakfast and lunch, they're going to have a horrible appetite towards dinner. Does that make sense? The first 2 weeks after I cut sugar were torture. It got so much easier after I started to taste the sweetness and fruit. Exactly. It took me like 2 years to stop putting honey in my coffee. So I totally understand. Sugar is very, very hard to not eat. But the thing about that is, it's not about willpower and it's not about morality. It's not that, oh, I was so strong, I got to kick my sugar habit. You're actually physically, most likely biologically addicted to it, because candida is a yeast overgrowth that majority of Americans suffer with. And sugar feeds yeast, and yeast needs sugar to eat. So once you have a yeast overgrowth, it literally, you crave sugar because the yeast is telling you, I need more. So it's not that you are not strong enough or that you don't have the willpower, it's that you physically, biologically need sugar. So yeah, I get it. It's really freaking hard. Okay. The other thing that I do when I talk about food with my daughter is that I really emphasize the importance of eating nutrients. I don't talk about good or bad food. I don't even say anything about like inflammatory or anti-inflammatory necessarily for my daughter, but instead of in our minds thinking about junk food, good food, bad food, you know, that type of stuff. Let's think about nutrient dense food and then food that doesn't have nutrients. Let's think about inflammatory food and then anti-inflammatory food, just to kind of change our mindset around this. This will help how we speak to our family members and help neutralize that discussion around food so that it's not a moral thing and it doesn't make them feel bad or that they don't have shame at mealtime. And then we have to stop bribing our kids with food. You have to. Like, you have to stop telling them, if you eat your broccoli, you can have this dessert. Or if you eat your carrots, you can have this. Because, again, it just creates a negative environment around food. And then food becomes a good or a bad thing, right? And we want to strip that all away. It's just eat your nutrients and then you can have dessert. Dessert is a course, it's the course that is served after dinner. That's what it is. Okay. It's not a reward. It's not a you were good today. Let's go out for ice cream. We're going to have to figure out other rewards to give our children, right? Um, all of these little tiny things, which by the way, you're not going to do them all at once. We're going to talk about this in a second. All of these little tips and tricks will help you over time get a handle on meal times, change your family's habits around food, and get to a more positive place around meal times. What do you do with a picky teen on a road trip? I was shopping and I could not find anything easy for her to grab that is not full of junk. It's really hard. I have a lot of information on traveling food inside the Flair Free Cooking Academy. I mean, I could go on and on about this. At the end of the day, I mean, you could probably just take my Flair Free Pantry Makeover mini course and learn those anti-inflammatory because there's a snacks list, there's a sweets list. So once you start to identify the brands and know what to look for on the back of a package, you can find it anywhere. Like, you can find it anywhere. A lot of depending on where you are, and a lot of this is going to be planning ahead. You can't wait until you're in the middle of Podunk, Alabama, nowhere somewhere, and try to find a grass-fed beef stick. But if you know that the gas station 1 mile down the road from so and so has the grass-fed beef sticks, then you stop there. There are gas stations that sell kombucha. There are gas stations that sell mineral water. There are gas stations that sell grass-fed beef sticks, nuts, boiled eggs. I just had boiled eggs and a bag of little like pickles and a beef stick from the gas station today on the way to deliver to my client. So it's about planning in advance, knowing what to look for, and then knowing where to find it. Okay. All right. You're doing great, guys. Like I said earlier, the fact that you're even here at all is like huge. So congratulate yourself. Give yourself a pat on the back. You're fucking awesome. Like, my God. What? Everything's going to come together in time. You're not going to dump all of this stuff on your kids. Write down the things that really resonate with you and you know that you can try or that you want to try first. Be patient, take it one day at a time, take it one meal at a time. If you try to change it all at once, you're going to end up giving up on all of it. You're going to stick with none of it. So just find one little tidbit that I just said that really resonated with you and start with that and see how your kids do. And then also focus on yourself first. If you haven't fully embraced the Flair Free lifestyle, and if you haven't figured all this stuff out for yourself, how are you going to try to like get your whole family on board? So at some point, maybe we work on ourselves first, and then later down the line, we start switching things for our kids, right? If you need to take the free masterclass I have on my website, it talks all about substitutions and grocery lists and all the things to really get you started. From if you know nothing about Flair Free, you can take that and learn a whole bunch. And then, if you need help beyond that, I would say the middle tier of the Flair Free Cooking Academy has a one-on-one consultation that you get every month. So that's where you can bring your questions to me. My son likes pasta, but he doesn't like pasta sauce. What can I serve him? And then we can get into the nitty-gritty of your specific, family, and we can help with that. And then you are reversing years of learned eating habits. You're breaking your family food traditions and you're changing your biology all at the same time. This is really, really deep work. So there's gonna be a lot of emotions that you'll feel along the way. You're gonna, you're gonna grieve the loss of the foods that you used to love. So are your kids and your husband and everybody else as you slowly transition away from eating the things that we were raised to eat. Your body is gonna crave things that you're addicted to because you've been eating them for years. So it's all about a slow, kind of like a weaning off process, emotionally, mentally, and physically. And then, sorry, this client, how do you add somebody to, a Zoom list? How does she not have the Zoom meeting? She keeps texting me. I'm so sad I can't get in. Let me see. How do I add somebody to that? Let me just do this really quick, guys. I'm sorry. I don't want her to be sad. It takes a lot to show up to these live events, especially day after day. So let's see if she gets that message. So I appreciate you guys showing up, and just anybody that's like, okay, I want to get in, but I can't. Okay, let's continue. All right, so get through your own healing first and then worry about the kids. It's like they say on the airplane, put your own mask, oxygen mask on first, right? Get all your shit together and then we'll talk about the family. Now, if your shit is all together and you're golden and you're flare free and all you have to worry about is your kids, then go ahead and jump to the good part, right? Get started on that. And then the last thing I wanted to say about this is talk to your partner before you start implementing whichever of these little tips and tricks you want to implement first, because you guys want to make sure that you're having the same messaging. We don't want him to be, when you're turning your back washing the dishes, telling somebody, oh, eat all your broccoli or whatever it is, that sometimes we just kind of are conditioned to do, like I've really tried to neutralize candy and sweets in my house because my daughter is like, obsessed with them. And I have so many friends that were like, I didn't get to eat candy growing up, so now I'm addicted to it. I don't want that for my child. So I try to make it very like, she has to eat her nutrients first and then she can have her dessert. And if her dessert is candy, she can have that. But it's not like she can eat all the candy she wants like it was when I was growing up. And it's not, you can't have any candy at all. You have to figure out where you want to be in life, and based on your own personal experience, really like decide for yourself. But don't let your partner, while you got your back turned, be like, no, you can't have candy. If you've decided that you don't want her to grow up and like binging on candy when nobody's looking because you didn't let her have candy when she was younger. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Okay. Get your partner on board so y'all are having the same exact message when you talk to your kids. Yeah, that's it, guys. We finished boot camp. If you want that blank meal plan that I can send to you guys, it's a PDF you can print out and put on your fridge. Go ahead and drop the word DIY in the chat, and then I'll make sure to send that to you after this. And if you want to stick around for the tips for staying consistent bonus training, you will get a free copy of that Picky Eaters meal plan, which has 5 awesome recipes for you guys. So I'm going to go ahead and jump into that really quickly. This is a very quick training. And this is where I'm going to be telling you guys all about that, that new tier inside the Flare Free Cooking Academy if you want to continue what we've done in boot camp together. Okay. So tips for staying consistent. This is my favorite part because I really like getting like things down to a science. Make meal prep part of your weekly routine. Obviously, you have to build it into your schedule. So that means adding it to your calendar. What I have to do for myself is I'll put reminders. Like, this is what I do. I do 1 week reminder, a 3-day reminder, and a 1-day reminder. Because I am like, I need reminders. So if you need reminders, put it in your calendar. And what I suggest, what I do at least, is I meal plan on Friday, and then I order my groceries on Saturday, and then I meal prep on Sunday. So they're back to back. So that part, once you get to that part, you should be able to remember that. But it's the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Oh shit, I need to be looking through Instagram for recipes and saving that to my recipes to try file. Okay. And then You want to create a routine for your kids, like we were talking about during, or the day before meal prep, I think day 2, where we're talking about this is they're either helping you with meal prep or they're at the park or they're watching a movie. They're not in the kitchen wanting snacks, wanting food. They're starving. Mommy, mommy, mommy. We have to figure out a way to get you in the kitchen, either you and your partner and your kids, or whatever the situation is going to be, without the kids all up in there. Okay. And then the last thing I have for you, tips to stay consistent, is to get help. So if you have a best friend that's like, I want to meal prep too, but I can't do it on my own, get together. Get a bottle of wine. You can alternate houses, do it together and make it fun. If it's your husband that wants to help, if it's your kids, if it's and you know what I'm saying, like your sister. And then if you need help beyond that, I have created this 12-week group meal prep coaching program for you guys, so that if you're the type of person that's like, okay, yes, Laura, I see what you're saying. I'm gonna put it in my calendar, and yeah, I'm gonna, the first couple of weeks I called my sister and we did it, but then it kind of tapered off and it wasn't consistent. This would be the program for you, because I will be emailing you reminders. I will be telling you, hey guys, you're obviously, I'm going to be the one meal planning. I already have 6 weeks already planned as far as the menu. So I'll be doing everything that you got during meal prep or meal prep boot camp, except it will have one extra dinner. So it's going to be 3 hours that I'm going to ask of you guys to stay. And if it takes a little bit longer, because we have some new beginner cooks, it might be 3.5 to 4 hours. But so what we're going to do every Sunday for 12 Sundays in a row at 2 p.m. Central Standard Time is make breakfast, lunch, 2 dinners, and then a sweet treat. And so like the lunches will be cold. There's always going to be a crock pot dish. So we're going to throw something in the crock pot, if it's a soup or a braise or something, so that while we're prepping everything else, we have one other dish that's kind of working on its own. Does that make sense? So that we have even more food than what we made yesterday. Okay. And then this is a $447 per month investment for 3 months. And I'm going to be drawing a name right now to pick one of you to get a free month. So, what is your name? Gretchen. Gretchen, you won a free month earlier today from from sharing your picture to social media. So congrats on that. Okay. I swear I'm not looking. Good luck, everyone. Oh, and also, I guess I'll just do this first. Who it is? Deb Oaks. Deb Oaks. Congratulations.
Oh, thank you.
So I will email you guys after this, and I'll send you guys your discount code. So the other thing is, for being here in boot camp with me, I did want to share with you guys that I'll be giving you an extended discount for $100 off. So it'll be $347 for the 3 months if you want to join that program, just for being here in boot camp with us, which is a really amazing savings. So like, for when I go to my clients' homes, I charge way more than this. So you're going to get all of this customized. And the thing about it is, the thing that I love about it the most, when I go to my clients' homes and I do this for them, they don't learn how to do it. So when I leave, they don't know anything. So you're going to get all of that benefit of what I do for my clients, but you're going to have all of the knowledge and skills and tools to continue this as long as you need to. And then eventually you'll get to a point where it's like second nature and it won't even feel like work anymore. Okay, so if anybody has any questions, will the meal prep recipes be separate from? Yes, they will be. Because the meal prep brigade recipes will be very easy to execute. They're not going to be like, inside the Flair Free Cooking Academy, I try to get, sometimes I get a little chefy, and I don't mean to do that. I try to keep it simple, but they'll be very like composed dishes. It'll be very simple, like we did yesterday, where it's like a bag of pre-chopped vegetables and then a sauce and a meat. Lots of sheet tray meals, lots of crock pot meals, lots of really simple, not multiple pans everywhere, because I want it to be easy and I want it to be accessible for even the cook that's like, I have no idea how to cook. You don't need to know anything. You just come and we'll take care of it all. And the other cool thing that I'm really excited about, I'm going to be adding a knife skills demonstration that you can watch at your leisure whenever you're ready. for everybody that joins that brigade so that they come into the brigade with knife skills to make that a little bit easier on you. Because the more you know how to chop, the easier your prep time is. But we are going to keep our chopping to a minimum in that by using pre-chop stuff. Okay, so this membership will include the weekly cooking instruction. It'll be, as I said, every Sunday at 2 p.m., 12 Sundays in a row. So it's from July 9th until September 24th. And then I'll be sending you guys emails like, okay, we're going to order our groceries. We're going to meet in 2 hours. Go ahead and set up your kitchen and do this. All of those things so that honestly, you don't have to think very much about it. It'll just be like, oh, I got my reminder. I'm going to go do whatever Chef Laura tells me to do. And then we will do monthly group check-ins. So if anybody has questions or needs help or motivation or any of that kind of stuff, we can do all of that together. And then I just wanted to share some of the boot camp success stories with you guys because a lot of people are watching these videos that I share back. So for everybody that couldn't make it in the training, maybe you don't follow me on Instagram, you didn't see these testimonies that I shared. Thank you everybody that shared. It was really helpful to see how you felt about yesterday because I didn't know until we started working that some people were nervous about it, how it was going to go. So thank you for being vulnerable and honest and open about that because that helps me too. Okay, so Lizzie said that you are an inspiration when it comes to learning how to meal prep. And now she's like, I have no reason to skip breakfast. And she was raving about her breakfast today, which she never eats breakfast. So I was really happy for her for doing that. And then thank you for doing this and helping so many people. Today was a lot easier than I expected. And my family already dug in because they knew how good their meals are. And then Beth said, I'm high on meal prep over here. I learned so much, and this has definitely changed my meal planning game. And that was either 1 2-hour session, or was it 3? It was like 2.5, 3 hours. 1 3-hour session. And then, let's see, Deb said we made 3 meals and a treat in 3 hours. I ate stir fry, which I have for dinner. I'm excitedly waiting for breakfast. Deb, did you eat your breakfast this morning?
Oh, I sure did. It was delicious.
Oh, good. And
I
you had
ended
the
up
sausage,
making-
right?
I'm sorry?
You had the sausage, right?
Yes.
Okay,
And I made
awesome.
2 eggs instead of 1 though, so it was delicious.
Oh, very good. I made 2 eggs too. Okay, thank you for teaching me a new way to cook. Yeah, that was cool because I don't think many people that came yesterday had cooked in the broiler kind of on sheet trays like we did. So that was fun for me to teach you guys that too. Okay, so that's it. That's all I have for you guys. Enrollment for the Flare Free Meal Prep Brigade will open on Friday. And then between now and then, if you wanted to take advantage of that $100 off coupon, I will send that to you. Just go ahead and drop the word pre-sale in the chat and I'll send you that code. And then you can take advantage of that pre-sale because I am going to, I believe I'm going to keep the brigade down to 12 people. So you're welcome to join at any time, but as those seats fill up, I can't guarantee a spot for you. So I will write down all of these. Blanca needs to see the replay. Okay, so I've been sending the replays via email, but now that my my email account on my website is refreshed, I can send it through my website. I noticed a lot more people opened the email today, so I don't know if people were getting the ones that I was sending via email or not. So I will resend all of the replays after this. So Blanca, you will get that. If anybody has any questions for me, go ahead and drop them now while I'm writing down everybody that wants the DIY and the pre-sale code. And then I will send everybody that's here today, I will send you guys all that awesome meal plan. Thank you guys so much for coming to meal prep boot camp.
Thank you.
Yes, if you have any questions, go ahead. Just going back through. Adrian. Do you guys like the idea of the breakfast, lunch, 2 dinners, and a sweet treat, or do you just think that it should just be all dinners?
I like having breakfast and lunch in there because I think I'm like Lizzie is the person that you mentioned. Like
Mhm.
breakfast is terrible for me. Even today, I had breakfast prepared, but I got up late. And so instead of grabbing a junk protein bar from Kroger, I took like 4 of those little protein bites, and that was my protein bar for breakfast this morning. And it was so much more delicious.
Yes.
So I personally need those options.
I do too.
Okay, good. Good to know.
And I love those
Also,
protein
this-
bites.
I know
I'm
we
sorry.
ate all of them. I'm gonna have to make more because we ate them all already. Ay, ay, ay.
Every time I open the fridge, I grab a half of one and eat it.
I know.
Mhm.
We ate, I think we each had some after dinner yesterday, and then Ruby had some after lunch today, and then we just had some after dinner.
Yep.
There's so little. I mean, it's easy to eat a few of those at a time.
Oh, no, I had big balls, remember? So I
Oh, you did have big balls. You did.
They were
Your balls were huge.
Deb, how many did you end up with?
18.
Like 12?
No, 18 of them.
Okay.
I used it was a 2 tablespoon scooper, I guess,
Hmm.
but I cut them all in half, so it was much better.
Did you say that you offer? I do offer a separate knife skills class. I offer a separate knife skills class that you can, I've been meaning to like literally, I need to figure out a way to do this where I can, this is what I need to do. I need to create a cart on my website because I have a cart for classes, but they expire. They have to be a date. So I was thinking if I added like the meal or the knife skills class as a product on my website, people can buy that whenever they want. And that's always a class that you can take. I need to do that. I'll work on that for you. Sale. Okay, I think I got everybody.
So can I ask kind of a personal question?
Sure. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, I know you have RA, correct?
Yeah.
So do you still take medicines?
I never took medicine.
Oh, okay.
I was prescribed it, but I never filled the prescription. So, what I first started doing was taking fish oil and turmeric. That was my first prescription that I took. And then I changed my diet after that. Well, I changed my diet and I also like removed a lot of the toxins in my home and my body products and that kind of stuff. I did those kind of at the same time.
Okay.
Mhm.
So I'm on like 6 different meds and still not great.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So have you worked on your diet yet, or is this your first attempt?
This is my first.
Oh yeah. So you're great. You're good to go. It's gonna go like this. Beth can tell you she's been in the Flare Free Cooking Academy for 2 years now. Yeah.
Do you have RA as well?
No, but I have a severe sugar addiction. And when I follow like Laura's meal plans 3 days, I like my joints don't hurt. Literally, when I get up in the morning, it sounds like a haunted house. Like everything's creaky. And 3 days of eating her food, I can physically tell a difference.
Really good.
Like 1 week, you won't believe the difference.
Oh, I can't wait. All right, good. I'm ready.
Okay. Could I go ahead and get the pre-sale code, even if yeah, of course. I'm not sure. Yes, of course. Let me go ahead and just email you guys that. So I'm going to email everybody that's interested in the pre-sale code, the code. Tara, I'm going to add you to that. Okay. And then, everybody that said DIY, I'll email you that blank meal plan. And then everybody that's here today will get the meal plan with the recipes, the kid-friendly one. I'm so excited for you guys. I hope that this was helpful. You're going to be just having like all these resources at your fingertips to really take healing into your own hands and do the damn thing. So congratulations. You guys rock.
Thank you. You do too.
Thank
Bye,
you.
everybody. Let me know if you have any questions. I'll be talking to you soon.
Thank you.
Bye.